What's going on, guys? Jay the Black here. Shout out to everyone that's tuning in. I want to talk about Mark Jackson. Mark Jackson, he is a former NBA player and also a former NBA head coach who, ever since his last coaching job, he has been an NBA commentator. He's been an NBA commentator. He's been doing that for years. And recently, he talked about how the WNBA players should be paid more. And I want to tell y'all why I feel like this conversation is a non-conversation until the WNBA actually turns a profit. And they have not been able to do that in all the years that they have been producing their league content. They have not been able to turn a profit because the league is run poorly. I think the league is actually ran more poorly now than it did, years ago, because the people at the top are comfortable. They're comfortable what they're getting paid. They're comfortable where the league is. They're getting subsidized by the NBA. So they don't want anything to change. But Mark Jackson is looking at the Brittney Griner situation, and he's saying, the only reason why these women are going overseas is because of what the WNBA should be paying them. I feel like when we have these conversations, people, when they say this, they're not saying it because they want the league to do better. They're saying it because they're giving the NBA the side eye as to, y'all should be, give them a little bit more money. That's what it looks like. Because even Lisa Leslie, and I did a video on Draymond Green and Lisa Leslie, because they were speaking about it, and Draymond Green sort of had to give her a reality check. He basically said that they do a lot for the WNBA already. They have, they're already subsidizing them. But I don't think under any circumstances should the NBA be giving any more than they already give. The NBA has to worry about themselves. The way those ratings are looking, and they got to focus on their own product. And I just find it to be humorous how people look at what Brittney Griner did. Now, let's be serious here. Women's basketball players make way more money overseas than they do here in the States, because women's sports, especially women's basketball, is a lot more appreciated and makes more money and more revenue overseas than it does here. I talked about the WNBA player Kelsey, and how she talked about how she's not looking to make what NBA players make. She's looking for a higher revenue share. You have to have revenue first before you talk about revenue sharing. Now, the WNBA could go out there and get more sponsors, promote their athletes. I see all these commercials about female empowerment in regards to women's athletes, mainly WNBA players, but they don't put their WNBA players in, I would say, food commercials, not necessarily shoe commercials either. I've seen some. I think Candace Parker has been in some, but you don't see them being heavily promoted, with sponsors, with sponsorships, like NBA players. I mean, look at Chris Paul. Look at all the commercials he's done. Look at all the commercials Blake Griffin did. Now, I will say this, though, NBA players are way more marketable. But if these companies are so woke, how come they're not putting these WNBA players in some of these campaigns, these marketing campaigns? Why aren't they saying we're going to take a chance and sponsor the WNBA and have their players in our commercials? Because they don't believe in you either. No matter how much ABC, ESPN promotes WNBA players, it just simply isn't enough. Now, with the Brittney Griner situation, Brittney Griner got arrested because of Brittney Griner's poor choice. She's the only female basketball player that I know of that has been arrested overseas and put in jail. So I don't think that people are targeting WNBA players. I just think that she made a bad choice. That's why she pled guilty. She made a horrible choice that cost her months sitting in a Russian jail. No other WNBA player who goes overseas has had to deal with that except her, because they do things the right way. You can't go into people's countries. No matter how little you think that you're breaking the law, you shouldn't be breaking the law at all. But WNBA players, no matter how much better things get over here, even if they get a revenue share, more of a revenue share at WNBA, it still ain't gonna be enough, because these women know that they can go overseas and they can make more money. I think that there are women WNBA players who are still going back to Russia to play basketball. That's just the reality. Nobody values women's basketball over here except for college. So let's get into what Mark Jackson had to say. Got 2 articles here. He's talking about improving the salaries, and he said it had a lot to do with having Brittney Griner. Brittney Griner got herself arrested. Keep that in mind. Now, according to the Comeback, Mark Jackson makes major Brittney Griner salary demand. Y'all should be making no demands if you ain't making no money. Former NBA player and coach Mark Jackson thinks it's high time for Women's National Basketball League to pay their star players more money in lieu of the horrible Brittney Griner saga. Now, Mark Jackson should be a lot more intelligent about basketball than this, man. I'm pretty sure he understands the business of it. He should understand the WNBA is not turning a profit that much. They're not making money like that. The league is poorly run. So how are they going to pay them more when they are only getting by because of the subsidies, the tax write-offs from the NBA? Jackson spoke with TMZ. The former Golden State Warriors coach said while he doesn't agree with taking money from the NBA to more adequately fund WNBA salaries, he does think women's players are entitled to more money in the United States to ensure they don't need to play overseas to live comfortably. Well, it's gonna take a while, because you see, even women don't value WNBA players. See, that's the dirty little secret that they don't want y'all to know. Women don't value women's basketball. Now, women's tennis, tennis is an international sport, but the women in tennis make a lot of money. Look at Serena Williams and Venus Williams. They make a lot of their money in sponsorships, winning tournaments. I even think female golf might be ahead of women's basketball, but they are sports that are male dominated, but women have become successful in. I would say women's tennis seems to be more competitive than male tennis over the years, just with the names alone that they've had on the women's side. That's why women have made a lot of money in tennis. You don't see men complaining about the money Serena, the Williams sisters are making, or, women. It just, you understand the business. You understand if people are coming to see them or watching them, right, supporting them, they're going to make money. But the WNBA, it's like, it's that, you root for them, but you're not going to pay to root for them. I think we need to pay women more. Obviously, they certainly deserve it. Their talent level certainly demands it. I'm pulling for them to get every dollar they deserve, and I am more than willing to do whatever we have to do to make that a possibility. Well, talking ain't gonna do it. You're gonna need more than that. Okay, one, they need to have better people running the league and promoting the players, because the NBA is a player-driven league. I've heard that so many times. It's a player-driven league. It's a player-driven league. So you need to promote the players. The WNBA doesn't do that, man. It's almost as if they want them to be mediocre. That's what it looks like to me. I think the WNBA is comfortable being mediocre. The players aren't, but the people running the NBA are comfortable being mediocre. This is why you need capitalists running your league. Capitalists will make it happen. But when you got a bunch of socialist liberals running your league, they're going to be comfortable getting subsidized. Okay? You need capitalists running your league because capitalists are going to go get that money. And they're going to do what they can to get that money. They're going to have every star WNBA player in commercials and TV shows, doing cameos and films. That's how they used to do it, but they stopped doing it. Because you got a bunch of people running your league that are comfortable being subsidized. They don't care about going out there and getting every dollar. They're comfortable getting what they're getting. Brittney Griner, like a lot of professional women's basketball players, supplements her WNBA income by playing overseas in the offseason. Griner was with her Russian Premier League team when she attempted to bring a small amount of medical hashish oil aboard a plane or aboard a flight, which kicked off her entire ordeal. I think we have to be more aware where we're going, Jackson told TMZ. Even from President Joe Biden's speech about Brittney, he said exactly that. No, she should stop taking illegal substances on planes because nobody else is doing it. Period. President Joe Biden made the controversial decision to free Griner in a prisoner swap with Russian government for convicted arms dealer Victor Bout. The WNBA paid Griner's entire salary while incarcerated. Griner is currently relaxing on a military base with her wife. She has pledged to aid all wrongfully incarcerated Americans, including former United States Marine Paul Whelan. Well, I think that this conversation is stupid to me. We've been having this conversation in videos and videos and videos. I've spoken about how you need to get rid of these people who are running the WNBA. Install people who are about getting money. Even YouTubers can find sponsors to sponsor them that they could make money to supplement whatever they're doing online. The WNBA could do that. They could have a host of sponsors, get these women in commercials, get these women on television shows, get them doing interviews. They don't do that because they're comfortable being taken care of by the NBA. Or getting a few women empowerment commercials. That league is not going, listen, they better hope the NBA is able to continue to sustain them. Because they're not able to sustain themselves. So they're not going to be able to pay the players more. They're really not. And that's the unfortunate thing about this. So, let me take in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts. Like this video and share it. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And I'll see y'all next one.